Hello everyone, welcome to Devconda's DevOps YouTube channel. So today I'm explaining about DevOps demo, that is AWS DevOps pre-course demo. It will be DevOps 0 to Hero master program. So before going to demo, let me introduce myself. Myself Mohan Babu. I have total 7 years of experience as a DevOps engineer and I am your trainer for the AWS and DevOps course. Okay, let's start with the DevOps demo. So first thing is, what is the DevOps? DevOps is combination of development and operations. So we are going to use the collaboration between development and operation by using the methodology. We call it DevOps. So what is the advantage of DevOps and how we are going to use DevOps into the application development? We are going to discuss now. So to develop any application, we are going to use a software development lifecycle. So SDLC, we call it SDLC. So it will be software development lifecycle. So for example, you have a requirement from the one of the client to develop an application. Example, you can take it any application like Flipkart is an application. So you have to develop an application called Flipkart. So to develop a Flipkart application, you have to work with the client first to get the project and what are the requirements and other procedures we have to follow as per the software development lifecycle. So to follow the complete software development lifecycle, we are going to use one of the models, we call it waterfall model. So this particular DevOps we are using from last 10 to 15 years only. But before that, what is the methodology we were using? So from last 10 to 15 years, we are using DevOps. So not more than that. But for example, you can see many of the companies asking more than experience like 10 years, 15 years experience and all. But DevOps is implemented only last 10 to 15 years only. Before that, it was not there. So before the DevOps methodology, so what are how we are developing an application. So if you take it, there is a waterfall model. We call it waterfall model. So by using the waterfall model, we were developing an application. So how it will work, I'm going to explain step by step procedure. So in the waterfall model, we have multiple stages. So multiple stages we have. First is we are going to requirement stage. So requirement stage, who is going to work on the requirement stage? So requirements will get from the client. So it will be taken care by architect and TL. So we call it like business architect or business analysts and all. They are going to work with the client and they are going to get the requirements from the client. So it will take time. And the next is, once we get the requirement from the client, it will be design part. Design. So designing, it's going to taken care by same architect. Here also architect will work on the design part. They are going to provide complete design to the development team. Here in the third stage, this one will be implementation part. So implementation will be taken care by development team. So developers we can call it. So development team is nothing but it can be front end developer, back end developer, everything full stack. It will be developers team. They are going to work on the implementation part. So once implementation is done, the next stage is testing. So testing will be taken care by quality analyst. So they are going to quality assurance. They are going to test the complete application, whatever the developer has built here in the implementation stage, and it will be if there is any mistakes or if there is any bugs, vulnerabilities, anything is there, then they are going to connect with the development team and they are going to raise the bugs. Once testing is done, the next stage is deployment. So deployment stage will be taken care by middleware admins. So middleware admins, it's going to take care, like deployment team will be different. They are going to take care of deployment and server maintenance and all. The next stage it will be once the deployment is done. Deployment is nothing but copy the code into the production servers and other environments. It can be development, staging, and production. So the next stage is maintenance. So maintenance will be taken care by, as we know, support team will be there whenever there is a issue for the client. So client will be connecting with the support team and they are going to check the issue, and based upon the output what they got in the issue, they are going to work with the different teams here. So this one is fine, like every stage is stage by stage is procedure is going on. But why do we need DevOps instead of waterfall model? So this is waterfall model. Instead of model, why should we use DevOps? That one we are going to discuss now. So here all the stages we have totally 6 stages. It contains software development life cycle architecture, and it will be taking each and every stage. It's going to take time. So if you take requirement, first stage is requirement stage. So it will take 2 to 4 weeks time to get the requirement from the client. So it's not going to one time activity or one time requirement. Clients going to raise the requirement and it will be some changes required in between, and they are going to the business analyst architect going to connect with the client team and they are going to get the complete requirements details. For example, how the home page should be look like and how the data should be fetched, what is the background data, and what is the security we have to follow, and what is the privacy securities and other things we are going to discuss with the client and collect all the requirements from the client side. Once they get the client requirement, they are going to work on the design part. So design part is nothing but it will be front end design, like what is the model, what is the usage of the application, how it should be look like, everything. It will be under design team, that is architect team. They are going to work on the design team, design part. It will take 4 to 6 weeks time. So once we get like all the design, everything is done, and they are going to prepare the charts, they are going to prepare the documentation for the design, and they are going to share with the implementation development team. So development team, they cannot build an application, they cannot write a code immediately, and they can't deploy release to the client as soon as possible because it will take a lot of time. They have to work on the complete development from the scratch. So it will take 3 to 6 months time. So 3 to 6 months time for the implementation part. So implementation will be taking more time than expected. It can be 3 to 6 months or 6 to 8 months like that. So they are going to write code from the scratch and they are going to deploy into the development environments, uh, dev environments and staging environments. They are going to work if there is anything else required, and they are going to perform their own testings. So once it is done, so development is done and everything is looks good in their servers, and they are going to share with the testing team. So testing team going to work on testing part. So testing is not just sample testing here. It will be working on the how application should be working, what is the exact requirement from the client, and it should be matching with the client requirement, and if there is any bugs in the back end or front end, and they are going to find out the vulnerabilities, code smells, bugs and all. So based upon the output what they got, if everything is goes well, then fine. If something is wrong, for example, they are working, so if there is any issue, then again they are going to back to the development team. So if there everything is good, all the test cases is successful, then they are going to send to the deployment team. Otherwise, it's going to go back to the development team. So when it goes back to the development team, then it will take more time again. Like that, it will take again and again. It will be like going vice versa. If everything is fine, then they are going to send it to the deployment team. So now here the deployment team, how much time it will take? Here the deployment is nothing but just copying code. They are going to create the servers. They have to maintain the operating system based upon the requirement. Everything they have to join. 1 minute. So they have to join here. So everything is fine, and they have to create everything, and they are going to deploy the application. So it will take again 4 to 6 weeks. Sorry, for this one it should be 4 to 6 weeks. Testing team, it will take 4 to 6 weeks time, and also deployment team, it will take 4 to 6 weeks time. Once the deployment is done, all the code is deployed into the production servers. So production servers is done, and it from here it will be support team will be taking care. If there is any issues from the client side, again they are going to raise the ticket, and they are going to work on those. If there is any issues, then they have to work with the development and other teams requirement. So this will be 24/7. Every time should be available support team based upon the client requirement. If it is only the particular time zone, they have to work on that particular time zone. If the client is all over the world, like global clients, then we have to work on 24/7 here. So from here completely, if you take all the calculation, the duration which we have taken for each stage, it will take almost, the time will be 8 to 10 months to develop an application. So to develop an application completely from the scratch, it will take 8 to 10 months time to deliver the application to the client. So but here the Flipkart client, they are going to set the expectations. They need application should be developed and it should be ready by 6 to 7 months time. So we can't work on this particular time limit. That is how it will work. So if we use waterfall model, then it won't, we can't immediately build the application and we can't provide. In this particular situations, we are going to implement the DevOps as a methodology. Here waterfall model we have used, that it will be stage by stage procedure it's going to take. Now we are going to use agile methodology by using DevOps tools. That one I'm going to explain now. So this one it will take time for the application build and deployment completely to the client servers. That this is the main reason which we use to implement DevOps methodology here. Okay, now we are going to discuss about how DevOps will work here. Okay, so now the client has set the expectation. The application should be gotten ready within 4 to 6 months time. The same application from the client Flipkart. So we are going to use the DevOps methodology here to reach the expectations from the client. Okay. Now we have three different developers. Those are working on the front end development, not back end. Only for front end we are going to discuss. So they are going to work on front end. So all the three different developers, developer 1, dev 2, and dev 3. So these three are the different developers. They are going to work on different modules. So for example, here he is working on one of the developer 1 is working on home.html file. Another one is working on index.html file. Just for example, I am taking the file names. And this another developer 3 going to work on product.html. So these three they are going to work on three different files. It is not going to depend on anybody here. They are going to work and they are going to push the code into remote repository. So remote repository it will be available for all the employees whoever working on that particular project in that particular organization. So remote repository here we are going to use GitHub. GitHub is a remote repository that is source code management tool. Okay. So in the GitHub, once the code is done, everything is builded by the developer 1. He is going to push the code into remote repository. Same like that, he is going to work on code and he is going to push the code into remote repository. Developer 3 also do the same. So whatever the code is done, they are going to every day, whatever the changes they are going to do, they are going to push into remote repository. And we are from as a DevOps engineer, we are going to take the action from here itself. It is going to take the action from source code management repository, and we use different automation tools here. So first thing is we use build tool, Maven. We have multiple build tools. We can take example Maven and Gradle. So this one is build stage. So once the code is pushed into remote repository, from here we as a DevOps engineer, we also can access the code as we have complete access for the GitHub repository, and we take the code from here and build the application. So if you take here implementation, developer has write the code and they are going to provide us, and we are going to build the application by automation. And the next stage is testing. So testing purpose we use different testing tools. Here we can SonarQube we use for the code quality testing, and also we can use Selenium as a automation testing tool. Okay, this one we take it code from there and we do the build and testing both. So once build and test is done, we are going to use main automation tool is CI/CD. So we call it CI/CD, that is continuous integration and continuous deployment tool. So for that one, we have multiple tool: Jenkins, GitLab, Bamboo. We have different tools. So I am going to teach about Jenkins, how we use Jenkins as a CI/CD tool. So this is continuous integration and continuous deployment tool. Continuous integration, continuous delivery. Okay. The next stage is once we take build the application and testing, even from the CI/CD tool only, we are going to use all the stages by integrating with the different tools here. So the next one is, so before going to production, so production sometimes we may face the issues, and we should not face any issues while clients working on the application. That's why we are going to use the artifactory. So artifactory is nothing but we are going to take the backup, or we can generate the artifacts of the application, and then we are going to deploy the applications into production servers. So this is the artifactory. We can use multiple artifactory tools, Nexus, JFrog, and also we use the Docker also we can use as a artifactory tool. Okay, artifactory. And once we take the backup of the application, that is artifacts, and we are going to deploy into the production server. So production servers, we should not have the single servers as a production, because the network latency will be happen, and there will be huge traffic with the networks, and the application will be going to slow. That's why we are going to use different multiple servers. We can call it n number of servers, like, because in some of the companies they are going to use a 10 servers, some companies use 50, 100 servers, like that, based upon the load, how much load we have. uh, Based upon that, we are going to use the multiple servers, Tomcat servers, you can see here. So these are the application servers. Once the application is builded, tested, and store the artifacts, we are going to deploy the applications into different application servers. So to deploy the application into these servers, we can't do one by one, because as a DevOps engineer, we should do everything as a automation only. So for that one, we are going to use continuous deployment tool. We can take it Ansible, Chef, Puppet. These are the different configuration management tool, we call it, and also continuous deployment tools. Mainly we use for the configuration management, config management. So using this one, we are going to deploy all the code into different servers, all the complete code. So code will be, we are going to deploy into the different servers by using Ansible. How Ansible will work? Ansible is going to work on the YAML script. We call it YAML. How we have JavaScript, XML, HTML, like that we have YAML, we call it. That will be simple script which we use in the as a DevOps engineer. So we are going to use it with the Ansible, and we are going to deploy into the these servers by using, here also we communicate Ansible and Jenkins for the automation. So Jenkins, or we can call it any CI/CD tool, it will be very important for the DevOps engineers to make it everything automation. And we are going to deploy the application into different servers by using CI/CD. CI/CD, CI is nothing but continuous integration. Integration is nothing but to integrate with the different tools at a time, and without any manual intervention, we can build, test, and deploy the application into the production servers. That is how we are going to use DevOps methodology here. So code is deployed, everything is fine. So you can see here waterfall model. You can take implementation, build is done, testing is done, deployment is done complete into all the servers. Now maintenance. So maintenance is, there will be operation team. Maintenance team is nothing but operational team. We call it development and operation. If you take it, DevOps is nothing but dev plus ops. So here this will be development team. Like we can call, we can take as a dev, and it will be operations. Here the maintenance will be taken care by operations team using different monitoring tools. We can take it Prometheus, Prometheus, and we have other Grafana, ELK. This and all we have popular monitoring tools, but this is not mandatory as a DevOps engineer. It will be mainly for the support, like application support engineer, then operations engineer. They are going to work. This will be operations team. And the next part is, this will be like when to monitor the application, to monitor the servers. So we will be having 100 of servers, and we can't monitor one by one servers, and we are going to set up the alarms configurations with the servers whenever there is issue with the servers, and we should get the notifications and alarms based upon the storage issues, or based upon the CPU usage, or if there is any downtime. These kind of alarms we are going to get it by using the different monitoring tools. The next part is, as we know, once everything is done and the application is live, we are going to hand over to the support team. So support team, they are not going to use much automation tools, but they are going to use communication tools like Jira, Slack, and emails where they are going to check it. So based upon the client requirement, ticketing tools they are going to use. We can, like, mainly Jira is the ticketing tool we can see. So they are going to communicate with the clients if client facing some issues, and if there is anything required and they can't handle, and if there is anything issue with the code, then they are going to communicate with the developers and fix the issue. And as usual, developers will fix the issue, and they write the code changes. They push into remote repository, that is GitHub. From here, we are going to take the action by automation and deploy the code into the servers. That is how it will work, development and operations, collaboration between development and operations here. So everything is done. So we can see here multiple tools we have used as a DevOps, and by using this one, we are going to see client have asked the 4 to 6 months time for to develop and release the application. Here we are not going to release application all at a time. We will be having different method. Here we are going to use sprint. So every 2 weeks, every 4 weeks, there will be sprint for the development team. They are going to have the particular task on that particular sprint, and Scrum Master will be assigning those tasks, and they are going to complete those tasks within that particular sprint timeline. And once that is done, sprint every 2 weeks, they are going to release the application, and client can be using. It will be every 2 weeks going to release the application, and versions will be changing. That's why we call it here GitHub. Along with GitHub, we are going to use Git as a version control tool. We are going to track all the versions. So version, each versions we are going to release. For example, 1.0, 1.1, 1.2. So once major is done, like minor, these are the minor releases. Once it is done, then it will be 2 is a major release. Again 2.2.0, 2.1, like that. It's going to release every sprint, and whenever the major changes happen, it's going for the major release. If it is minor, then they are going to minor release. That kind of it will work. So as client required, it will be within 4 to 6 months. We can release the at least partial release. They are going to release within the 2 to 3 months, and clients can be using the application. Every changes they are going to push you and release it in the sprints. So client will be satisfied, and we are not going to the projects will be not going away from us. Like that, DevOps can implement. Okay, so we have discussed till now how waterfall model and DevOps will work. What is the real usage of advanced uh, real usage of DevOps to implement here. Now I'm going to see same stages we have used. What is the main tools we have in the DevOps? Let's see. So this is the DevOps lifecycle. You can see it will be plan. It will start with the plan. Plan is nothing but requirement. Code is nothing but implementation. Code and build. They are going to implement. So it will be development and testing team, and the next is release. Deploy will be deployment team, and operation team, and monitoring is support team. It will be complete stage by stage procedure. Here also we have, but all together we are going to work here. Complete development and operations will be collaborating and improving the team communications, and we can like by communicating each team, it will be easy to provide high quality applications with a highly available and secure applications. So here, what is the main tools which we have to learn? If we start with the code, plan is we are not going to discuss, we are not going to involve anything, but code we are going to use version control tool, that is a Git as a version control tool. And build tools we can learn any, like we have Gradle, Sonar, Type Nexus, Maven, this kind of. And the testing tool we have Selenium, Sonar Cube, like that. And release is nothing but continuous integration and delivery. We are going to use Jenkins and other GitLab tools. The deployment we are going to deploy into the orchestration. So we have to use Docker, and cloud we have to use, that is AWS, Azure, GCP. These are the different cloud technologies we have. And operations to maintain, like to automate everything in the operations team, we can use multiple configuration management tools like Ansible, and continuous deployment tools like Kubernetes. This will be most advanced technologies in the DevOps. Kubernetes. And monitoring tools we have, as discussed, Grafana, Prometheus, and other tools we have in the monitoring tools. That is the main DevOps advantages. So now we have discussed what is how we have implemented DevOps better than waterfall model, and what is the different technologies in the DevOps. So the next question is, why should I learn DevOps? So learning DevOps is one part. Like you have multiple options to growth your career in the IT industry. Like we have full stack developer, Python, automation testings, data science, cloud, everything. But why should I learn DevOps? That is one of the major questions by everyone. So learning DevOps can offer significant advantages both professionally, personally, and it will be mainly involve yourself with the other teams, and also you can improve yourself by using communications as well as your self development. So by using, like we are going to not only work with any like manual tools here, we are going to work with the software development team. We can learn the development as well here, like how the developer will work, what is the codes, what is how backend will work, everything we can discuss. As we know, without DevOps team, there is no organization is there, because every company now implementing DevOps methodology to make it automatic, and also to secure the application to provide the quality application to the clients. So next is some main reasons why should I learn DevOps. First thing is career advancement. So career advancement is nothing but everybody, like in this particular session we have multiple students with different experience into IT industry, different IT technologies, different non-IT and also freshers. So many of the IT engineers nowadays they are going to learn cloud and DevOps to get the high demand. So DevOps skills are highly sought after in the job market. So in the job market, you can see there are many layoffs are happening. Even if you learn DevOps, there will be layoffs will be there, but you will get more chances outside if you go. Like every companies are using automations. Even if you know there are Gen AI, ChatGPT and all coming, but even those are coming also, we are not going to lose our opportunities as we are using already automations. Organizations are increasing, adopting DevOps practices, creating strong demand for the professional with these skills. So if you have DevOps, DevOps is not a single technology, it will be a bunch of technologies. So if you upgrade yourself, you will be having more chances to get the high growth. Salary, that will be as usual. Everybody know DevOps is a high salary skill if you learn. So next is broaden skill set. So versatility, DevOps encompasses a range of skills including automation, cloud computing, CI/CD, infra management. So versatile is nothing but if you learn DevOps, it is not a single role, it is not a single technology. If you learn complete DevOps, you will have the more opportunity, more choice. So you can work as a cloud engineer, you can work as a build engineer, you can work as a DevOps engineer. That will be different options we can get the outside. Cross disciplinary knowledge, you gain knowledge of both development and operations, which can enhance your understanding of the entire software lifecycle. So if you know DevOps, then you will understand complete lifecycle of the software development. Increased collaboration and communication skills. As I told in the beginning, DevOps engineer will be collaborating between the multiple teams, and we are going to communicate with the higher level to lower level every team. Team integration, it will be DevOps faster collaboration between development and operations teams, helping you to improve your ability to work effectively in cross-functional teams. Opportunities for innovation. So if you improve yourself every time, as I told, it is not a single technology. You have to upgrade yourself, and then you will get more opportunity if you are enough talent. Next is job security. As I told, job security will be high in the DevOps. Even if you get the layoff due to some less performance, you can upgrade yourself and you can get the job within quick time if you are enough if you have enough talent and skills. Future proofing, as more organizations adopt DevOps practices, having expertise in this area can provide job security and career stability in a competitive job market. That is what we have discussed till now. If you have the good knowledge and good experience and good hard work employee, then you will get any opportunity with the DevOps skills. So personal satisfaction is nothing but if you interested and if you can enjoy working with automation by writing the sample scripts, and it will be very interesting topic is the DevOps. So you can improve yourself and you can achieve the goals whatever you want in the DevOps methodology. and also you can write your own codes, you can implement your own script whatever you have in the real time working. So the final question, many times like many students which I got same question, who can learn the DevOps, like for example some of the students, I don't have experience, can I learn, it is possible to get the opportunity. So if you are a fresher, even don't have any experience, you are just a recently passed out, you can learn as a fresher also. You can get the opportunity if you learn and practice well, real time. Mainly you have to practice every tool, and then you will get the opportunity. And also non-IT experience, like you don't have any IT experience, but you are a passed out is old student, and also you can get learn DevOps and improve yourself and move to the IT industry. Even different IT experience is nothing but if you have any development experience or Linux or any cloud experience, those also can join the DevOps course and learn DevOps. You can get the more opportunity with the DevOps. If you have cloud experience, it will be more advantageous with the cloud and DevOps as well. Even I am going to teach cloud and DevOps. So if you already know cloud, it will be easy to understand DevOps and get into the DevOps jobs. The last and final question, it will be what job roles we can get if you learn complete DevOps course. It will be like different as we have discussed in the beginning here, versatility. If you learn DevOps, we can get into the cloud computing, CI/CD, infra management, everything. So if you learn DevOps, you can be DevOps engineer, DevSecOps engineer, cloud engineer, cloud ops engineer, SRE, site reliability engineer, infrastructure engineer. These are the different designations you can try. This is not a single technology, so you can learn DevOps complete tools. You can try for all these roles, but you should be very confident and you should be hardworking to get any of these roles. But DevOps engineer is a common everywhere we can get, and this will be security. It's included security along with Dev and Ops, and it will be cloud engineer and cloud ops engineer mainly work on the AWS or Azure clouds, and this also site reliability is it will be mainly communicating with a client, working on the change management, incident management. This kind of will be working, but the technologies will be same in the all the roles. It will be depends upon the company requirement. We can get into that. That is a discussion we have complete roles and in which roles we can go for the if you learn as a DevOps. So the main intention of this demo is the course complete AWS and DevOps I am going to teach. It will contain different technologies as we discussed into the here, different DevOps tools. I am going to teach each tool in all the stages of software DevOps lifecycle. So first thing is introduction, that it will be contain advantages, lifecycle, everything, and then next is Linux. So Linux is the operating system which is very important for the DevOps engineer, and we should learn. I am going to explain Linux introduction, complete administrator part, how we are going to use Linux in the real time as a DevOps engineer, and the GitHub as a version control and source code management tool. Then Maven as a build tool, Tomcat is the application server, SonarQube for code quality, and Jenkins as a CI/CD. It will take more time for the Jenkins only in the DevOps tools. And next is AWS. AWS Cloud. I am going to teach how to use AWS as a DevOps engineer, and main services I am going to discuss. There are 100 plus services are there in AWS, but I am going to use major services which required for the DevOps engineer, and Ansible configuration management tool, then Docker containers, then Kubernetes. These are the main technologies and tools which I am going to explain. It will contain from the scratch. Even if you know anything, if you know nothing about IT, even you can also learn. It will be from the scratch, basic introduction, installation, configuration, and real-time working along with the sample projects. So I'm going to provide guidance as well. And if you have any doubts in the while practicing, if you face any issues, that one also I'm going to connect and clear the doubts. At the end of this complete course, I am going to help you to create a resume from fresher to till 6 years of experience, and then interview questions on each tool, how to prepare for the interview as real time questions, and also clarification and doubt. If you have any doubts in between, you can ask in between as well. And also at the end, if you have any doubts related to the topics which we have discussed, and also regarding job opportunities. This is what the course curriculum. It will take completely 70 to 80 hours time, and it will be 3 months to 4 months duration. I am going to take the classes. That's it. My LinkedIn page. Thank you.